I swear, if Hunt don't patch soon, I'm gonna go postal.
I don't know
What?
why you're
What?
so obsessed about a patch that changes
I
the numbers.
don't know why either, but I'm just like, I need this patch.
It's like it's being told you can't have something, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
it's
you
like,
want it more.
it's like, we took down the test server a week ago, and today apparently we were meant to be getting the DLC, but that's been pushed back, or it's back to coming soon. And it's like all the signs were there for it to be today, and it wasn't.
I hope they
And now
release
just-
another video tomorrow, and
Mhm.
it still says coming soon with no date. Just to
God.
tease you, Steve.
And they just keep doing so because everyone's kind of fed up with Hunt right now, and they're just kind of like the patch. Just give me the patch. Maybe that will fix the servers. Maybe that will. Then we can just get our health chunks back for free. Get trait points. For
Yeah,
free.
Steve. I'm sure free health regen will solve everyone's collective burnout.
Okay, but first of all, like that means no more big health chunks ever if you don't want them. And second of all, the traits means that like you can get necros straight away, probably unless you're really unlucky. You can get it if you want like a crossbow. You just get the bolt thrower really, early on. You can get any of the necessary traits if they're cheap enough. Fanning might be a bit out of reach. Same for levering, but any of like the weapon traits you can probably buy early on. So it just makes every build active a bit more quicker. So it is actually like a big change.
But it's like fiddly bits.
It's a little bit fiddly, I do agree, but it is for someone who plays Hunt a lot. I'm like, oh, that means like if I want a crossbow, like I don't have to like re-roll to get the crossbow trait or go in for a match and just pray that I survive that one match. I can just get it straight away and stuff.
I feel like I'm weird though, in that I don't like that. I don't like everyone can just have whatever they want. I don't think that is interesting.
No, it's like a Call of Duty loadout.
You said like, oh, I've got, I have to go into the game and hope to get out to get my crossbow trait. And I'm like, that's good, right? That's the point. That's the whole thing about Hunt. That's why it's different from like, Call of Duty.
I don't know. I'm just like that. I'm like, I've played enough where I'm just like, just give me the traits that I want.
It feels like a little bit like everything is getting maybe like too normalized to the point where it's like, why is there even an economy anymore?
Why is there even Hunt?
Why is there even Hunt?
They normalize everything so much and then just remove the game entirely. It's just like, we're calling it a day.
And also just the Avto nerf, please just give me. So no, I don't hear an Avto every single match. Because even I'm hearing an Avto every single match, and that's weird.
Yeah, but the difference being in your lobbies, no one can aim with it, so it's not really an advantage.
No, they can sometimes.
Have you taken it, Steve? Are you an Avto enjoyer right now?
Once, I think I had 3, so I took them just to like get rid of them. Well,
you and everybody else,
yeah.
in the fucking game right now.
Do you think this nerf will actually make a difference?
Apparently, there is someone who I talked to who is quite an avid Avto user, and they said on the test server they couldn't aim for shit with it. So hopefully,
I mean, what's actively changing? I thought it was just like ammo differences.
No, the ammo difference, and also the Avto specifically is getting its left, right, up, and down recoil getting worse. So
yeah.
Oh, that's how it should be. You should do one burst, and you should be looking at the sun. I still stand by it. There's no reason that gun should be in the game, full stop, because it is completely against the design philosophy of that game entirely.
I do like when they take guns or take things that like break, in certain circumstances, breaking your own rules can be fun.
Yeah.
But I feel like it does it in all the bad, unfun ways. You know what I mean? Like Nitro is an example of like, hey, it's really strong, but it's like finicky and stuff like that, and it's good. And then the Avto is just like, no, just have a machine gun. How could that possibly go wrong?
Yeah, I feel personally, if the Avto is going to be in the game at all, it should be the gun that certain people think it is. The people say like it's a meme gun, but it's it's actually really strong. It should actually be a meme gun. Like it should it should fire ridiculously fast, but do like 20 damage per shot or something stupid.
And when you fire it, it does the clown honker honker.
I've got it right. It's no longer a Mosin Avto. It's a Bornheim Avto.
I've seen that thrown around a lot.
6 bullets. They're still not dead.
That would actually be OP though. Like you can't just make the Bornheim like that. I hate how people hate the Bornheim. I still love the Bornheim, even if it's shit. It's like
Oh,
my
can we get
favorite
a room
gun.
with the Bornheim?
It's my favorite gun in that game by
No,
far.
it's not.
Well,
I like it. I think it's cool because Pedro Pascal has one, right?
Does he?
Mandalorian's gun is a Bornheim.
God, I was
Yeah,
thinking.
but
I was
his
thinking
has
of
got
like
laser
Last of
beams.
Us. I was like, when does Joel get a fucking Bornheim?
Well, you know he doesn't have a Bornheim in Last of Us because he'd be dead in like 30 seconds.
That's true.
flat.
Yeah.
He'd run into the first zombie and be like, "Oh, I've shot it 9 times. Why is it still coming?"
Yeah. There's that deleted scene of Game of Thrones where he's in the fight with the mountain, but he unfortunately dies because he only has a Bornheim.
He's only got I shot him 6 times and then he stabbed me.
That's not fair. He poked my eyes out. I shot him like 7 times. This game's so
Right,
stupid.
Jack. What the fuck? What's the Bornheim?
Oh, I don't think it's gonna
that's
get
funny.
Yeah, it's not gonna get better than that. So we'll just jump straight into it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Game FourCast, our weekly gaming podcast where we get together and chat about all the things that we've played and all the new news stories for the week. My name is Josh, aka BottlerWorks, and I'm here with Olive Meister Will,
Hello, everybody.
Quikwix Steve,
Hello, my name is Steve, and I'm currently melting into a pool of 100% pure awesomeness.
and Sammeh.
Hello, I'm Sam. I'm just melting.
Yeah. If you can't tell, you've probably heard it throughout everyone's streams and videos this week, but England is currently very, very hot. And it just feels like it's not going to end.
Mhm.
I guess like it's just... We were talking about this earlier. It's just summer now, right? Every summer going forward, it's just going to be hotter than the last one.
Yeah, what's that? I fucked this up the other day, but that saying where it's like it's not the hottest summer on record; it's the coolest summer you'll have for the rest of your life.
Yeah, what's that? Is it a Simpsons movie where Bart's like, "This is the worst
day
of
of
my
your
life."
life so far.
That's basically England and the heat going forward.
yeah.
Let's talk about some stuff. What have you done this week, Steve? What have you been playing?
Oh God, what have I been playing? I've done some Street Fighter and some RuneScape.
Oh, cool. I've done a lot of Street Fighters. Did you want to do a little bit of RuneScape first and then go into Street Fighter?
Yeah.
Okay.
So RuneScape, I have fully become addicted. I absolutely love just putting the game on. I have, even to the detriment of other games, like I want to play more Diablo. I keep playing RuneScape because there's always something time limited to do, and I'm like, I've got to grind out my golden cape or
Yeah.
this event. Or...
Clarification: this is RuneScape 3
Yes,
because there are 2 versions of RuneScape, and this one is the slightly less popular one. I think. Old School is the bigger one.
Old School is the bigger one, but it's also the less new player friendly one. Like it's the
Absolutely, yeah.
And so I've been playing a lot of RuneScape 3, and I've in specifically I have been enjoying. There's a special area. I think it's a newer area where you can build up your own forts, and so that's like becomes your home base. And you have to like gather materials and construct like a work area, like a guardhouse, a chapel. And in the latest update, which happened on Monday, they added like a wood cutting area, like a grove. So I've just been literally gathering in there, and it's so mindless and so fun because it's just you don't have to pay attention to the game at all.
I think what makes RuneScape so easy to play, but so addicting at the same time, is the game has so many little goals that you can always aim for. There's always like a million things you can do, and they're all pretty fun, and they're always within reach. It feels like nothing feels like that's so dauntless. I'm just going to not play. It's always like, if I play for like another hour or 2, I could get that or this or that.
Get this or that, yeah. And that's the thing is because I've actually usually when I'm playing games, like I have a stream on in the background, but it's usually just like me not really paying attention to the stream because I'm like, oh, Diablo, I need to not die, or Street Fighter, I'm fighting other players online. Whereas RuneScape is just like, oh, I can pay full attention to like watching something on Netflix, watching a stream, even playing another game, and just have RuneScape on in the background.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like it's a bit overwhelming when you first get in. There's like a tiny tutorial, but there's not much guidance. You kind of need to hyper focus on something and then try to look up. Like the RuneScape wiki is your best friend for this game. Because there's 101 things to do, which is both a good and a bad thing, because you can do everything from the start.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like if you can try to look up like a guide and like some early game things you should be doing, because that really helped me with the game. And now I'm kind of like, oh, I can do quests. I know what quests like I should be doing. I know what stats I need to roughly raise for certain activities. And yeah, it's constantly good. And I'm still the thing that got me into RuneScape in the first place was we've got a friend who works at RuneScape, but like there's a necromancy update coming. And,
That update looks so good. Yeah,
it looks so good. It's a new combat style. It's the first new combat style added to RuneScape since launch, I believe, right?
Yeah, it looks like RuneScape works on the premise of a combat triangle. Almost like if you've played any sort of rock paper scissors mechanic, one is strong against one in the triangle but weak to the other, and that's been the basis of RuneScape. I think literally forever, pretty much. It's just a really simple combat triangle, but this new sort of combat style, which is necromancy, is almost separate to the triangle. It's not strong against anything, but it's not weak to anything either, which I think is probably the best way to do something like that without completely ruining all balance of the game. Because making something new to the game like a combat style is really tricky, I imagine, for them, because you're affecting at this point 20 plus years of legacy content as well. Because the idea behind RuneScape is it's all skill based. I can't remember how many, there's over 20 skills that all do different things. And the idea is that you can do any of them. They all start at level 1, and you can do any of them whenever you want. So
except for invention.
Except for one of them. But the idea with this one is that if you're a new player to the game, you can straight away you can start necromancy if you want to. Maybe a few barriers of entry at the very beginning, but you should be able to get onto it relatively quickly. So how do you make something that doesn't completely, mess up essentially all the combat content in the game, right? I think it's very interesting, because I imagine that's really, really hard to balance.
And I have to say, everyone is very welcoming. Because I've been farming some Lobby stuff in my new armor, my bronze armor or whatnot. I've had multiple people just be like, "Are you new to the game?" And I've been like, "Yeah," and then they just give me millions of gold for free.
That's so bad. I hate that so much.
I love it. I'm like, yes, Daddy, do you want me to dance for you?
I feel like RuneScape is really good because it has a really good natural progression as you play. So you get stronger, or you improve your skills, which allows you to do deeper content, which is worth more money in the game's economy because you've worked for it. And I sound so salty. To be given that much money, I feel like completely nullifies that component of the game.
Stay mad.
It's interesting as well because
you're literally the RuneScape equivalent of when I was your age.
Yeah, I'm literally shaking right now. I'm so mad.
But do you know what the stupid thing is that I'm like, oh, I should probably save this money, so I'm not spending any of it at all, because I'm like, I don't know what to spend it on. That's
why it's worthless to give a new player all that money, because they literally don't know what to do.
It makes me happy seeing the big number in the corner.
It's like a high level player, right? Gives a new player 1 million coins, and that player that gave it is like, that's so much money, I've really made their day. But to the person that's been given that coin, it might as well be worthless, because they don't actually know what to do with it or how much it's actually worth.
It made me happy as well.
Because I had to look up as well, because you said you were given 12 million, and I'm still very new. I'm playing this really, really casually, and I was like, that sounds like a lot, but I have no idea what the economy of this game actually is. How much do you have,
Josh?
I don't know how much I have. Not much. But I know that 12 million is a shit ton in old school RuneScape, but that doesn't mean anything in RuneScape 3 because they're entirely different economies.
Yeah, RuneScape 3, I think I was just from going around to all the rune shops and buying water runes and selling on the GE, I could make upwards of 4 mil a day.
Exactly,
by buying out the stock.
I looked it up, and the only thing I could sort of compare it to is there's an item called a bond, and it's 2 weeks of in-game time, right? So, and both games have that. So I compared it, and like RuneScape 3's bond is worth 10 times the amount as Old School's. That's all I know. Are you enjoying it, Steve?
I am. It's just kind of. It's mindless, but it's kind of so satisfying just to have on, and it also feels like because like whenever I play a game, I've always got the thing of I should be doing other things, but now I can do this and other things. So it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. I would recommend people try it out. As I said, people are just lovely and friendly. Yesterday I tweeted about how much I was enjoying the game, and that tweet is doing very well. Everyone's like, oh, welcome, and add me on as a friend and stuff. And there's surprisingly so many people who I was like mutually following who were just like, oh, you play RuneScape? Yeah, I also play RuneScape. We should be friends.
I feel like it's the first time in a long time I feel where the general discourse around RuneScape has been mostly positive, as opposed to just like like I'm shocked that game even still exists. What the hell? Whereas I feel like now it's like it seems like both games, Old School and RuneScape 3, are getting meaningful content upgrades and like actual cool stuff in the future, as opposed to just being good. I'm kind of sad that I'm not playing Old School for one reason only. It's because I just keep hearing stories about drama in Old School RuneScape, and I'm like, oh, it seems like they're having all the fun. Old School at the minute, I think, is this week in particular has been really bad for Old School RuneScape.
Really?
If you do keep on top of what's happening, they had a big update coming soon. One of the quests called Desert Treasure, really popular Old School quest.
Yeah.
Is getting a sequel. Literally just
Desert Treasure 2.
Yeah, they were going to have a new. Shut the fuck up. They were going to have a new. They were going to have a new prayer book, which is a big part of the game, as the reward for that quest, and they've scrapped the whole thing. They've just been like, no.
Oh.
We don't feel like it was. They beta tested it. It was in the game. You could go on beta worlds and try it out. They're just not doing it now, and no one really knows what's going on with that. That's like in-game weirdness going on.
There's also a lot of outer game weirdness.
Yeah, so there's another thing where people were just getting randomly banned this week, and people were jumping to Reddit and being really mad. And there was a thread on Reddit where people were posting their account names, and they were just getting unbanned because there's so much weird shit going on. And then people that had actually been banned, legit for botting, were posting in these threads and getting unbanned. It's so weird. It's so weird. A big YouTuber called Framed got randomly banned as well. I see.
This is Old School, by the way. New School is fine. Like RuneScape, if it's called just RuneScape or people refer to it as RuneScape 3, perfectly fine. Just you can have a good time.
Yeah, right now, RuneScape 3, I can assure you, has had plenty of controversy in the past.
Oh shit!
It's just any online multiplayer game that has stood the sands of time has controversy.
The reason Old School RuneScape is so popular in the first place is because RuneScape 3 went through so much like trials and tribulations that people just left. And it's only now, I feel, where people were like jumping back into RuneScape 3 and they're like, hang on, this game's actually pretty good.
It's so funny. There's like drama about a game which you largely play by yourself, just chopping trees and shit. How's everyone getting mad at that?
I will say one small detail about RuneScape which I like is in the chat you constantly see when someone reaches like a major milestone, it will do it in global chat. So you'll be like, this person got woodcutting to level 99.
Yeah, I like that.
There's a lot of like, this person got their 20 years cape, and I'm like, there's a lot of those 20 years capes going around.
Some of them are really just, it pops up. It's like, this person's just got max XP in every single skill. It's like, you are insane. Like, thanks for letting me know, because now I know to avoid that person at all costs, because they are actually insane.
Well, that's okay. They'll never talk to you.
Yeah, very much.
No. You go up to them and be like, you got to them and be like, I'm new. They'll just give you their fortunes.
They probably have so much money, it's ridiculous.
Probably.
Yeah, fun time though.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to go straight? We're going straight into Street Fighter.
Yeah, although my experience in Street Fighter is purely I haven't really done any of the single player much. I've just been enjoying doing the ranked online.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fun. I like every morning, usually I will just do like an hour of Street Fighter on stream and just have fun. Like it's win or lose, I'm learning, I'm having fun, I'm going against people who I feel like I'm meant to online. Like there's enough players.
I'm glad to hear you say this, yeah.
It feels good. And I'm improving. I feel like every single time I do a match, I'm learning. So
every time I play against you, you are actively getting better. So
yeah,
and it's just
I've taken some wins off you.
Yeah, it's like fighting games essentially. Is after you learn all the mechanics and stuff, it's being put in so many situations just from playing loads that when you see something happening and you're like, okay, I know what I want to do in this situation. It's the act of playing not randomly, but you don't know what you're doing. But eventually, when you play enough of these games, you start playing with intent. Like you know what you want to do. You know what's going on. You have control of the situation.
I'm starting to get there. A little bit with Cammy. I'm starting to. I'm not quite there yet. It's still sometimes it's panic button mash, but yes, it's good.
Well, that's why you play one fighting game and then the next one you play is a little bit easier to jump into. You never unless you're like pro, right? You never jump straight into high ranks, but it's like I can jump into this and be like, okay, yeah, I know vaguely about most mechanics. There are new ones, obviously, but I know what's going on.
I will say one of my favorite comments from Sam was because I don't know too many combos. I'm just like get in, try get some hits where I can. And Sam and me and Josh were fighting on this in Street Fighter, and Sam was watching, and he said, "Oh, it doesn't look like you're fighting on a Street Fighter game. It looks like you're fighting on a Tekken game." Because we're literally just like backing off, getting one hit, backing off.
Yeah, we were both playing characters that no one knew any combos. So yeah, it's just like outside of playing a neutral game, which is just sort of back and forth outside of each other's range. Like, don't really know what else to do.
So the other thing as well is I've only ever watched fighting, right? I've never I have played them, but I've never learned them.
Yeah.
So I
just
just
a great
look
one
at
to
it
get
and
into.
Stop.
This is I've said before to everyone that has had any interest, whereas like this is probably as good as it gets for a long time, because Tekken's not going to have all these tutorials in like single player mode and stuff. Like fucking King of Fighters and this, that, and the other's not going to have all these modes. Like this is.
What about Mortal Kombat? Because that seems like the next big one that's coming out.
Mortal Kombat is always tricky because it's the next closest thing to having all these cool modes and things like that. But I just think the microtransactions in that game are so egregious.
Actually, that might be a good like sub podcast episode one day, is just like to talk to you about all the different fighting games and their strengths and weaknesses and stuff. That would be, I feel like, really interesting.
I think it's one of those things.
You know a lot of them, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things with fighting games generally where it's almost like you pick a flavor, right? So it's like, say a fighting game is like a certain food group. You try it and you're like, oh, this kind of food is actually, tasty. I like this, right? This tastes good. And then once you know that you generally like it, you can start, fine tuning it. What kind of flavor of fighting game do you want? You have Guilty Gear, which is very anime, which people will either like or dislike.
I played a tiny bit of Guilty Gear. I like the anime aesthetic, but like the character, the attacks are like take up half the screen, and it was too much for me.
Yeah, there's
but the music is a bop.
Yeah, and people will like that, people will dislike that, right? Whereas other people like Mortal Kombat, some people will love all the fatalities and the fact that the game is like hyper violent, right? Whereas for other people, that's a major turn-off. Like, they can't stand that shit. They think it's gross, or they think it's just like distasteful. Which again, there's no right or wrong answer, right? Because it's art. It's subjective.
And then the Riot one's going to come along and sweep everything, right? Because it's free to play. Yeah, and it's going to instantly be the most popular fighting game.
Yeah, Riot comes along, makes $1 million just for doing what everyone should have done, which is turn these games free to play.
Yeah. The one thing with the Riot game where I'm like unsure about is that where it's a tag fighter. Like, I know Mortal Kombat's doing it as well, but I'm like, it seems like that's more like of an advanced thing, But that's it's like, oh, you've got to learn 2 characters.
But that would be I completely agree with what you're saying, right?
Mhm.
But that's more of a disadvantage to someone that's completely new to the genre. Whereas if you play a ton of Street Fighter, which you are, and you know how characters move, you know about combos and jump attacks, that and the other. If you were to then go to the Riot one, that's only one more new thing for you to learn.
But the Riot one, I think, is going to be a good entry point for a lot of people where it is free to play. Like Street Fighter, very good entry point, but it's £50. You know, like it can be a hard sell for some people.
Yeah.
There's also we spoke about before, so I won't go into like detail, but Street Fighter's modern control schemes, right? Like an easier way to play. The League of Legends one will for sure have something similar that lets people do, whether it's like auto combos or like I think the genre has to have this going forward, whether you like it or not, because it's the only way to get new people to play. It's just that simple.
Well, you want to have it, and then you want to have it so that people have a reason to want class, right?
I mean, ultimately, you play modern controls, and you're like, I can play this game. I can take wins. I can have fun. And then the more you play, you start realizing maybe there are a few things that you can't do because of this control scheme. And then you can start mixing up maybe. And then you can decide if you want to change, or you can, very legitimately stay with modern controls. I've seen certain pro players playing with modern controls and trying to make it work. Like, it's just part of the game now.
I was gonna say, like, because that's the thing with me is I'm playing and I'm like, what? I'm playing with the modern controls and it's fun.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I was to do this on classic, I learned the classic, I could be doing 20% more damage. And it's like, if I want to take that extra step to learn, then I'm like, oh, I probably could. I might not want to because I'm lazy. But yeah, if I want to learn like how to like master one character and try to like mimic what I'm doing in the modern, but in the with the classic controls, I'll just be doing more damage overall.
I think it's the modern to classic comparison. I think it's less to do with the damage reduction, because as a new player, your combos do 20% less damage, but you're not going to be doing those combos full stop in classic mode. So, and that's not to like, say, you're shit because you're new, but like those combos are pretty hard, especially for a new person, right?
Yeah.
Whenever it involves an up in the sequence, I will always jump.
Exactly. Yeah. It's I'm currently, I think I finally found my main, right? I'm playing the poster boy, Luke. And today, I only played for like an hour today, but like today for the first time was the first time I sat down in training mode and actively tried to learn a combo that I can utilize in the game, right? And
your bread and butter.
My bread and butter. Go on YouTube, Street Fighter 6 Luke, bread and butter, bam, here's like 10 videos. And I start doing this combo, I can get it working most of the time, and as soon as I take it into a real match, which I did quite a few times, I did like 8 placement matches out of 10, because I'm trying to do this combo, I'm actively worse at the game than I would be if I was to just do projectiles and anti-air, uppercuts. Because so long term, I will be better at the game because I will learn this combo and I'll be able to use this combo. But right now, I'm actually worse at the game because if I drop this combo, I'm just open to anything and I fuck it up all the time. But it's just one of those things where, like I said, I think what I'm trying to loop around to is the damage reduction isn't the biggest nerf. It will be to higher level players, but not to people just learning the game. Because without, if they were forced to play classic mode, they're not doing 6-hit combos into super anyway, because they literally cannot do it. So,
but what? Okay, but so that's the fighting part. But what about the single player? I know that you've played a lot of that, right?
Yeah, I have now. Basically, as of right now, I've completely not 100%ed, but I'm done with the World Tour mode. It's really good. I had a great time with it. It's basically there is a light story, but it's so light it's not even worth talking about. Essentially, the game is go around the world, fight people, level up your character in like an RPG style game, and meet all the main cast of characters. The reason you get
look like an old Yakuza.
it feels like an old Yakuza game.
Like, just run around, fight people, do side.
Yeah, that's basically all it is, right? It's like, you'll go around and the quest will be like, this main story quest. Go to this construction site and get a uniform we need. Like, just to like sneak in somewhere else. So you go there, and that's where you meet Ken. You chat to Ken, learn some stuff off Ken, and then progress the main story. And then you'll go back, and you'll get a message saying like, oh, you know, maybe you could grow stronger by getting some spirituality. Go to India or whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, here's Dulcim. Go chat to Dulcim. Get a cool cutscene with him. Move on. It's like, that's the game basically. And it sounds super simple, but it's kind of fun because the fun you get from it comes from leveling up your character primarily, watching your guy get stronger, because you start off with nothing. You have like half a health bar, but as you level up by getting experience, you can upgrade a skill tree to get more move slots, more health, more drive gauge, until you become just a super strong character with like 2.5 health bars by the end of the game. But I had a lot of fun with it.
I have a question. Since we've got at least 4 DLC characters confirmed, probably more though, do you think they'll be added to the PvE mode, or do you reckon they'll just be like online exclusive?
I'm pretty sure it's already been confirmed that they're going to be in the World Tour mode.
Oh, that's good. I'm happy with
I don't know about characters after that. But yeah, the ones that have been confirmed, which are Rashid, Aki, Ed, and Akuma, they're all going to have some sort of involvement in the single player, because without spoiling anything, the game's story is not finished. Like, the game ends.
Oh.
Yeah. I streamed it to Discord. I think Sam may or may not have been watching. I can't remember.
Yeah.
The game just straight up does not end. You have a fight at the very end against the obvious bad guy of the story, which is JP, the new guy. And it doesn't really conclude. It just ends with like, oh, what is strength? You have to keep finding out.
What is strength? Does that bother you that they're probably potentially holding the end of this game behind? I guess we don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe they'll just drop that in for free.
I think,
but I doubt it.
if they drop it in for free to the campaign, then I'm fine with it. If they're like, yo, we've added Akuma to the game. He is in World Tour. You can chat with him. You can put all his moves on your custom avatar. But if you want to obviously play Akuma in the main game, i.e. online and training and whatever, then you have to buy him. That's fine. I'm fine with that. If they lock the rest of the story between like drip-fed DLC that you have to buy, I don't know how I feel. That's kind of shit. I don't like that. Not that the story's amazing anyway. It just feels naff to not have it really finished. It's like, oh, it's just not finished. I don't know there's nothing else to really say. But I don't want that to like be a massive downside on what I think of the single player. I think the single player is really fun. I think
it does look fun.
Yeah, it's like, in terms of if they're gonna do like anything for like single player, like this is probably the best showing that the genre has had so far, which is really cool.
The only thing I don't like is the big appeal of Street Fighter, at least from the outside, is like these larger than life characters. They're all like so well designed and iconic.
Yeah.
And I've not seen a single player avatar yet that doesn't look like complete shit.
The avatars are so weird because it's flip a coin, right? And on one side of the coin, the avatar is the most boring person you've ever seen in a Street Fighter game, or it is an absolute monstrosity.
Yes, there's only 2 options.
I've straight up seen avatars that have like massive purple chests with thin arms that reach the floor, and they just like have. It's just absurd. It's absolutely absurd, and I kind of love the fact that they've done that in the first place, because it's like, I'd rather have these weird freaks running around than just everyone looking kind of boring.
But in an ideal world, you'd be able to make a Street Fighter character and it look completely natural alongside Chun-Li. versus Chun-Li always looks like she's in a cutscene alongside just some guy's dad who's just like stumbled into a Street Fighter.
I understand exactly what you're saying, but I'm not sure if that's actually possible, right? It's like a character that has been designed by Capcom over thousands of iterations against.
Well, but like you can do, you'd have to restrict it a bit more, but like you can do stuff like Halo has a, you make a Spartan, it still looks like a Spartan, it fits right in. Or I don't know.
But Street Fighter characters are weird. Like you said Chun-Li. Like, what part of Chun-Li's thighs are bigger than a tree trunk? Like,
but that's the point. They're all hyper stylized, right, in some way or another. But all the characters just look like some guy who's just on holiday. Like,
I think it might come with time, but I think what it needs, which is what you're kind of describing, is there needs to be more like unique stuff that's just kind of like odd. Because if you look at a Street Fighter character, they're made up of tiny, unique like quirks, right? On their outfit, they'll have like a very specific thing here or there, or that makes them stand out, which you can't really add to a custom character. I think, hopefully over time they'll add more. Because there seems to be a really odd focus as well. It's not odd, but like they're really going hard on this whole custom character thing. To the point where
it's a moneymaker, isn't it?
Or even the first, they're doing like a battle pass kind of test thing right now. Like how Multiverse has had like pre-season battle pass and things like that, where it's like, here's a battle pass, it's not really like a proper one, it's just like a test. And it's got a few avatar cosmetics in it, so I was kind of hoping, and I think they will, I was hoping the battle passes would have more costumes for actual fighters and not be full of avatar stuff.
But because I guess
happens.
Depending on how much they add, how substantial this new content is, it's like most people are going to be done with this in I don't know how long it took. Well, what was it, like 10 hours, 8 hours?
It's longer than I thought. The World Tour mode from start to finish, and unlocking all of the alternate costumes took me 19 and a half hours.
Oh, okay. That's more substantial than I thought.
Yeah. I didn't have to, but the last sort of 3 hours of that are grinding out the alternate costumes. Because that's the main reason why I was there in the first place. I stuck around because the game was good in the end, but when I first started up World Tour, it's because I wanted all the alternate costumes that you unlock through it. Because every character has an outfit too, which is, for older characters, it's their retro costume. So if you want Ryu in his original gi and things like that, you have to unlock them that way. Or for new characters, it's just like a cool side outfit.
Yeah.
And you have to level up. Because you find the characters, like I said, you find them in game, you have to max out their bond with you to unlock their outfit. And when you finish the game, you probably have like 2 of them out of like 18 characters. But there are guides and stuff just to, okay, you finish the game, you got a decent avatar that's a high level, okay, just do this for like 2 hours and you'll get all the costumes. It's not that hard. So I was just doing, that's why I was there in the end, just finishing that off. But yeah, the whole thing from start to finish, about, if you don't care for that stuff, I reckon you get a good 16 hours out of it at least, which is surprising. It went on for way longer than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's not just a fighting game, it's like a weird RPG hybrid of leveling up and stuff like that. As you run around these worlds.
I will play this, and I'm sure I will love it.
I'm still having so much fun. I mean, I'm like Steve now. Now that I've done all the single content, I'm just on the grind of trying to get better. I don't know how long it will last. I mean, I'm not going to be stupid and say I'm going to master this game. Like, I always drop them at some point.
Yeah.
It'll happen gradually. Just one day I'll realize that I just stopped playing Street Fighter 6. But as of right now, I'm having tons of fun. And I got the deluxe edition, which is like the middle version. Because that came with the first year of content at a slightly better price.
Oh, so you're paid up. So
I'm paid up for about a year.
Nice.
So
until they release cash shop skins, and you're like, oh, I need that one, and also that one, and also that one.
You joke, but some of the skins in Street Fighter 5 are really good because as the game gets further on, they move more away from like serious skins and just start putting in weird Capcom like crossover shit.
Yeah,
like you just like, here's a skin for Ryu in Street Fighter 5. He's just Mega Man. Like why not? Like he they gave a few characters Monster Hunter skins in Street Fighter 5, and they looked really good. They were awesome skins. So when they start adding stuff like that, that's when it gets a bit dicey. I'm like, oh no, if I'm still playing, I might need the Chris Redfield skin for Ryu or something with massive arms.
Always Chris Redfield. He's fucking everywhere, isn't he?
You know that would be Ken. You know that's Ken.
Ken is a menace in this game. I fucking hate Ken. It's not enough.
Homies hate Ken.
It's not enough that like Ken is everywhere anyway because he's easy to play and popular. But if like early tier lists are to be believed, he's also really, really strong. So it's like, for God's sake, he's just everywhere. Every other match is against Ken. And it's like, it's just fine because most Kens are like either not great or they're just a bit random. So it's like, okay, I can handle Ken. But no, the next Ken you fight will be a fucking god. And he just mixes you up. Oh, I hate Ken so much. I hate Ken.
Is there any, apart from Ken, is there like, I guess, because the race is always on when one of these fighting games launches to like find the OP strat, or the OP character or OP combo or something. Is there like anything egregious that's been discovered in 6?
Not so much like egregious that I've seen. Zangief, who's on the screen now, is always a menace at lower levels. Because he's a character that will just grab you 2 or 3 times and you're dead.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, I'm dead. That's fine. I made a joke the other day because I took Zangief into ranked matches. I hadn't touched him before in this game. I played him in Street Fighter 5, but I have not played him at all in Street Fighter 6. And I won 9 out of 10 placements and got placed into Platinum League. And so I don't know how to, outside of like slightly stay out of range and grab people, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not comboing. I'm not doing anything.
That's funny.
I get to the end of my placements where the game's like, okay, yeah, you're winning all your placements. Here's like the platinum players. And it's a Cammy who jumps over me and does like really long combo strings. But then I just wake up and grab her and do more damage than she's just like had to work for. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Because I'm maining Cammy at the moment, and it does feel like that sometimes where I'm like, I've just hit them like 17 times, and then they do one move, and I'm just like, oh, okay, they've done more damage than me.
Well, that's the thing, yeah, because it's like in higher level, Zangief is kind of mid to not always very good because he can't get in. You just, as long as you keep him away, he can't do anything. But at lower levels, people don't know that, or they don't know how to keep them away. He's very strong. He's very scary.
He's like a pub stomp character, basically.
Kind of, yeah. You got to be careful for him. Other than that, there's nothing else that really stands out as really painful. I will say, in my games I've played, there's a character called DJ who's like the Jamaican like dancing man. He's really cool. His design's great in this. I've only gone against, I think, 3 of them online. I've played a lot of matches at this point, over 100. I've gone against 3, and every single one of them has absolutely bopped me, like absurdly bopped me. Like I'm just in the way on their trip to Grandmaster rank. It's absurd how much I got destroyed, and it makes me want to learn that character. But I know I would be nowhere near as good.
Yeah,
he's a character that wasn't in any of the betas, and on day 1 when the game first came out, during my first placement matches, which I went straight into, a guy was DJ and was comboing me for like 15 plus hits. I'm like, what are you doing? How are you doing any of this?
How do you know?
It's like minute 1. What developer or reviewer are you?
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say, yeah. You got like some guy with a press account as he's been playing him for weeks. Yeah,
absurd. Yeah, nothing else to really add. Really, I'm just still really enjoying this game. It's still really, really fun. It's interesting to see if this momentum, like, carries on, because Capcom's going to want to keep going with promotions and esports and tournaments and basically games as a service, right? So it'll be interesting to see how hard the drop off will be, because a lot of people have bought this game, casuals and returning players.
Yeah.
I wonder how many will finish the single player, try an online match, get killed, and go, nah.
Yeah, no, I played the single player. That's enough for me.
The opponent fought back. I'm gonna pass.
Yeah. Where does Street Fighter lie in like the hierarchy of like fighting game esports? Because I know like Mortal Kombat's always been like huge, right? But is Street Fighter up there as with it, or is it?
It's hard to say. I do feel like generally, fighting game esports have been. This is all personal opinion. I feel like they've been a bit on the decline for quite a while now. The pinnacle was, I feel like, the end of Street Fighter 4, start of Street Fighter 5, and then it's been on a decline for quite a while. I always found, despite Mortal Kombat always selling the most by quite a large margin, the competitive scene was always quite boring. I personally think. I just that's what I'm saying. I hope that there's more of a spike in interest in the competitive side to this now that there's so many people that are into it.
Yeah. Well, it's on Capcom now, right? To capture this, keep these people involved. Yeah,
they've already said that their competitive scene going forward will be strictly Street Fighter 6, which I think is a good idea. It's also very ironic because that's exactly what they did with Street Fighter 5, and they killed.
And everyone hated it.
Everyone hated it because Street Fighter 4 was at its absolute pinnacle.
Yeah,
and then Street Fighter 5 had a really rough launch, and they're like, no. Can we just go back to the other one?
This launch has gone well, right?
This launch has been great. Yeah, I've heard
good.
Nothing but good things. It's had really good sales numbers. Everything works, which is such an odd thing to have to praise. But considering every other fighting game release, usually, it's good that you can just play and not worry about any technical stuff. So it's been great.
Nice.
It's been a really good launch. Oh, I think we'll move on from this. I could literally talk about this forever. Have you played anything this week, Will?
Not really. It's the continuing adventures of Diablo 4 and Zelda. They're both so much fun that I get bored of one, I go and play the other. I get bored of that one, I go back and play the first one. I've just been like ping ponging between them. I did. Is Steam Next Fest? Started yesterday, and I did check out a little game called Rogue Command, and I only checked it out because I was like, I bet Sam would like this, and then for some reason I was like, I'll play it and then tell Sam about it. I could have just linked him or something, but
I appreciate that.
This is very early, but it's like an idea for a game that I've never seen done before, which is like a series of StarCraft matches, except it's all like run-based roguelike. So imagine you start a StarCraft game and it's you, and all you can build is SCVs and Marines, right? And you have to you beat the first guy. And it's like a randomly generated or just randomly picked StarCraft map. You beat that guy, and then it's like, okay, you've beat the guy. Do you want to unlock what? Marauders?
Come on, you got this. You can remember. Tanks?
Helicarriers?
Reapers?
Medevac? What's the...
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. We have to do this now. Marines, Marauders, Reapers, Hellions,
Reapers,
Ghosts, Medevacs, Battle
Thor.
Cruisers.
Can I jump to Thor?
Thors, yeah. Vikings,
Siege Tank,
Banshees,
Widowmines. Remember them?
Hellbat.
What was the Hellbat? That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. What was the floating one that could launch missiles? Do you remember that one?
Floating one? What for?
Oh, Raven.
Oh shit! Yeah, Ravens. They went invisible.
Ravens went. No, that's Banshees went invisible.
Ravens with the detectors.
That had the energy to fire the heat-seeking missile.
They fired the heat-seeking missile. Yeah. Anyway. Fucking hell. So you finish the thing, and it's like you get to you can do stuff like pick new units to unlock. You can apply like mods to your existing units. So like one I got was like, now when a marine dies, he spawns a baneling. I'm going to call it, because we all know. But it wasn't that, but that basically. So whenever one of my marines died, it would spawn a tiny little explosive robot, and it would run over and blow up. And it's like, and you get to just, and these things like stack on top of each other. You get to unlock new buildings and stuff, and then you just kind of go until you fail against progressively harder and harder opponents. And it's like, it's super early. You can tell it's really early because the UI is sort of not good, and it's missing a load of quality of life stuff, where like sometimes your units, like the pathfinding, they'll just wander off, it's like very indie. Sometimes you'll find like an SCV like slacking, he'll just run out of his factory and then just not do anything. It's like, come on, mate, what's going on here?
That's like StarCraft 1, isn't it? That was a feature, I think, back then.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but it's just very clever, and I've just never seen this kind of like genre mashup before. But it's really
I
interesting.
need to like play this, I think, because I can't. It's not your fault. I can't really visualize it, because when you say like it's like an RTS, but you get to choose your abilities, and like, that's just an RTS though, right? Because you build a lab or whatever to then build to pick upgrades.
Yeah, but what he's saying is like in StarCraft 2, you build a lab so you're stim or combat shield. But in this, it's like you have a roguelike way of choosing skills.
Yeah.
You can't just say like, right, I've got Marines, that means medevac. Sorry, I'm going to pick up stim pack next level. It's like, no, maybe your Marines become melee and have double health.
Exactly.
Like, you don't get to choose.
And it's not, you're not doing these things like in reaction to what your opponent's doing. Like, in a StarCraft match, it's like, oh, I went air, but he went anti-air, so it's like, oh, time to mix it up. I need to switch to building whatever the anti-air vehicle is. I need to build siege tanks. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't played StarCraft ages, but it's like you are trying to build a well-rounded composition for your units before you even get in the game, and then it's like you have to figure out in between missions, like, oh, he had a lot of long range units and I had nothing to counter it, so I need to go and figure out how I'm going to deal with those before next game.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like interesting, right? I'm always up for weird takes on the RTS genre, because no one else is fucking doing it.
Stormgate, mate. That's why we're waiting for Stormgate.
Yeah,
Stormgate.
I hope Stormgate is good. I still think it looks way too mobile game, or early, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, cool. I don't really have a lot to add. There's a couple of other indies I've got my eye on that I'm gonna try at some point. There's a really good what's it called? I can't find it. It's on guard. Oh, I knew that.
I've heard of that, I think.
Which looks like a kind of like a Mask of Zorro Puss in Boots kind of game, where you're just like,
how do you spell that?
It'll be EN
space GRDE. And I really want to try that
Bloody
out.
Steam devs just having to be unique with their names.
That's how you would spell it.
Right. Normal. That's really embarrassing. Okay, moving on. These bloody people spelling their games correctly.
One anymore.
This is cool. Yeah.
I love how in the tags it's Spectacle Fighter.
Yeah.
Swashbuckler action game.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because it shows off stuff like, kicking a guy into a table and the table goes everywhere, or like flipping a chair at someone or something. It looks neat.
That was cool in Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
Dishonored 1.
Yeah, Dishonored 1. No, I'm just hating for no reason though. It looks cool.
But yeah, that's all I've really played. Try Rogue Command. It's pretty funny. It's funny when you boot it up. They obviously know how early it looks.
Yeah.
Because there's a developer message when you first boot up the game that's like, hey, thank you so much for downloading our demo. Thank God you downloaded our demo. Of all the games on Steam, you picked our demo to play.
We're friends now.
yeah, on Facebook.
You're my phone number.
But then they're like, don't worry, it's going to change a lot. We've got an artist now, and we're gonna completely redo all of the. And it's like, oh, bless them.
That business with my ex-girlfriend, all squashed. It's all over now. Don't worry, that's all done.
The court cases are all settled, and now we're gonna work on the game some more. But yeah, it's an interesting idea.
All right, throwing it along, Sam. What you been doing?
Okay, well, to back up the next fest, because I've actually played a demo as well.
Nice.
Is the biggest me game. It's called Crop Rotation.
Jesus. Okay.
Fuck it out.
And it's it's a roguelike game where it's a deck building roguelike game where the cards that you're collecting to build your deck are crops, and basically every round you get to select one card to add to your deck, essentially. And then when you play the round, all of your cards are placed into farm plots at random, based on the order that you've built your deck.
What the fuck?
They all have like special bonuses. Like vegetables like to be next to other vegetables, for example.
Just like real life.
And the idea is by getting all these bonuses, they sell for more, because at the end of the round you sell all your crops. And the idea is you have to get enough money to survive, because every 7 days you have to pay back a loan that gets progressively more and more expensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So each crop has two. How do you say it? What's the word? You know, like a marine is a biological unit.
Yeah.
Right, and then you get like biological flying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. They
all have like archetypes.
Yes, thank you. So like on the screen, you see like you have a wet root or a fruit climber or something.
I got cream for that.
That's a good one. And it's kind of like the standard auto battler kind of thing, where if you get 3 unique vegetables, you've now got you've unlocked a tier bonus for having 3 vegetables.
Oh, there it is. Everything comes back to auto battlers eventually.
I thought you were going to say you've unlocked 3 vegetables. Now you've got a meal.
Dinner is served.
But, so basically you're like trying to balance, like, because you have a certain amount of cards that you can play and plots that you can play crops into. So at first you can just be like, well, I'm just going to sell more crops and that's just going to make me more money. And then later down the line, you kind of have to be like, well, no, now I need to work on my bonuses because I've only got so many plots and I need to make 1,500 gold in 7 days.
Okay.
And it also has like quests as you go, which will be like plant 20 herbs. You'll get this bonus. Here you go.
It's a bit papers, please, almost.
Yeah, without all the stopping people at the border.
Without all the communism.
It's very roguelike. It's very roguelike. It gives you quests to complete while you're trying to do your thing. Everything is random. You have no control over what goes where, what options you're given to choose from, etc. You just kind of have to make do. And yeah, it's just kind of it's very early.
Yeah.
You know? But I saw it and I was like, I'll give this a go, and it was just kind of, it meshes a lot of systems that I like together.
I feel like if I'm not careful, I'm going to start seeing like 3 cards pop up in front of me in my sleep, because I feel like every game everything I play is just like kind of roguelike. Here are 3
Something
things.
says deck building roguelike, and I'm like, dear God, I hope this game looks bad because it's already got me.
It's like you see those tags pop up and like, oh, and you blink and it's 2 a.m. and you've been playing this game for 9 hours already. I don't even remember installing it.
It's just I still play a lot of Star Rail, which has the roguelike mode that I do every week, and that's always like, here are 3 things, pick which one you want. Oh, roguelike.
Yeah.
It's just fucking everywhere.
Roguelike.
And then we just the video on your Game Minute Go, Will, it's like, here are 3 things, pick one. It's, oh god.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah,
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
I think roguelikes are just kind of the flavour of the year at the moment.
They've been
right?
the indie flavour of the half a decade at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like indie roguelikes are the new indie Metroidvanias, where they're just every game now is just some sort of
ever
roguelike.
since Slay the Spire, deck building roguelike has been
deck building roguelike.
The hottest genre.
Yeah.
If your game costs less than a tenner.
Yeah, we have the budget of £20 and a 4-pack of Lion bars. Like how we're going to stretch this out? Indie roguelike with deck building.
But yeah, so there's that. That's I've only played a couple of rounds. Again, it's only a demo, so you can't play the full thing.
Yeah.
But the main game I've been playing is on my brand new Swifty PS5.
Hell yeah.
It's Horizon Forbidden West.
Nice.
I've been.
Glad
Someone's finally going to finish. Yeah.
I fell off this game so hard.
See, I'm really enjoying it, but I've purposely said to myself, like, I'm not going to try and 100% this game.
Yeah, don't.
It's not what I'm about.
It's insane.
I'm not going to try and explore everywhere. I will go where the game takes me and where I feel like going at the time.
Yeah.
Now, I am someone that does all side quests. That's just me.
Yeah, you'll do it anyway, yeah.
But I'll do side quests, but I'm not getting all 64 watch my flips that are hidden in all the tunnels and all of that. And I'm playing on like the second easiest difficulty.
Yeah.
Playing on the mode that is like, we're going to give you like very pointed waypoints to get you to where you need to go. So I'm like, I don't want to struggle with this game. I am looking to play and have a good time.
I had when I first played this, I turned the difficulty down as well because I started on a harder mode and was just not having fun. The fights were just too hard. So I was like, and the way to get around the harder fights was to like grind materials to get stronger weapons. I was like, exactly. I'm just gonna pass.
But playing on the difficulty it's the highest difficulty that there's parts that like you have to knock off, and if you don't, they disappear when the monster dies.
Yeah.
On this difficulty, you still get those parts.
Yeah. Well, it's like
I don't have to grind.
Yeah, it's like AAA game made for the masses, right? For as many people as possible. You'll have a more fun time playing on the intended modes, which are like normal or slightly easier. I think we said before when I first was talking about this, and it's got like a shitload of customization for difficulty. You can really tweak it to be how you want, which is really good. I really like that stuff.
But I'm having a blast. I've still had difficult monsters and stuff, which is, again, because I'm on such an easy difficulty, I didn't expect to have.
Yeah.
So I'm still early in. I'm only like 7 hours in.
Yeah, I think I joked with you about how that's like half the tutorial, I think.
Yeah, you say that, but I'm still not at the main first town yet,
that game's opening is so long. It's, from what I remember, it's like, it's a guided corridor-ish section. Then you get opened into the open world, but it's not the open world. It's like a first like little gated section of the open world. It takes ages.
I'm past that bit, but I'm still not at like the main point of the big open world.
No, yeah. When I dropped this, I was fully into the game. I dropped this like 30 hours in or something stupid.
Yeah. I just think, I mean, we talk about this probably weekly, but I don't see the point in playing a game on a harder difficulty when I know I'm not going to have fun. Like, I am 100% not going to have fun if every fight is using up all my ammo, like all my healing, and I'm spending 10 minutes on every fight. It's not what I'm there for.
It's just stressful. It's the same reason why I don't get any fun from like hardcore characters on games, where it's like I have limited time. I don't want to spend it doing something and then lose
it.
all that time, which I get is for some people. Some people love that, but it's just like I'm not
absolutely.
for it. I'm
But
not for it
us.
anymore. Yeah.
But yeah, great game so far. But as Josh said, like I'm still not technically at a tutorial yet. I still haven't got all of my gear. You know how it is on these games.
Yeah.
So,
how are you finding the character comments on everything? Is that overblown, or is that as bad as we've been?
I've really not noticed that whatsoever.
It really wound me up when I played. It's like
Aloy
going,
oh no, maybe now we've said it.
Aloy going mad, like having a full-on conversation with herself, climbing a cliff. It's like, Jesus.
Like, she said some things where it's like, I go past the ladder and she's like, I should knock that down. And I'm there like, you don't have to tell me that every time I'm past the ladder. But at the same time, she has said it once and I've gone, there's a ladder?
Oh no, you're the player that they're aiming for.
Sam's the target.
Yeah. Sam couldn't find the ladder, so he stopped playing the game. How do we fix this?
Ladder. If I fall off, I don't fall off. You know?
I think people mentioned it in this game, but I think the big one was God of War Ragnarok. That game was really bad for straight up spoiling puzzles before you've worked out even what all the elements of the puzzle even are. So,
but yeah, good game. It's also basically the same as the first.
Yeah, it's more of the same, but expanded from what I remember. It's got a full-on expansion now. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, which I won't get to because I'll be dropping this game tomorrow.
Yeah, I think most people will be stopping everything on PS5 to play Final Fantasy 16 tomorrow.
Yep.
You excited?
Oh yeah, I stuck to it. I've not played the demo. I've not watched anyone do anything.
Yeah.
The only thing I saw was watching the guys on that stream where they fought the Iron Giant 15 levels lower.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
That's the only thing I've watched because I was like, look, that's not story based. Like, oh, there's an Iron Giant in a Final Fantasy game. It's not exactly spoilers for me.
Can I just ask why aren't you playing the demo? Like, for example, like if you played it today, you're just basically doing the first part of the game, right? Or is there something?
Yeah, well, that was my point. It's like, why would I play the first part of the game and then force myself to now have to wait?
Yeah. But, I mean, you could do it tonight or tomorrow if you're waiting for the game. Like, be like, "Ooh, I'll cheekily play it while I wait for the poster to arrive."
Yeah,
right?
but it's. I think the main thing is it's like, what do I gain, right? It's like I'm in a rush to play the game, but the demo isn't the game, right? So all I'm doing is
that's part of the game, right?
But all I'm doing is spoiling that bit for me because I'm going to have to put it down and wait.
Yeah, at this point in time, if your first session with the game you're intending it to be a big one, as in longer than 2 hours,
I guess,
you might as well wait. If you play more in short bursts of 1 to 2 hours, then yeah, the demo would be worth hopping into. But if you're gonna like, I've got a work colleague who has tomorrow off work, and he's just intending to he has played demo, but nevertheless he's intending to sit down and just play this game for 12 hours tomorrow. He's just rinsing it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where people say, you can play the demo and that means when the game comes out you don't have to do the start bit, but I'm there like, but what? That shouldn't matter, right? Because the start bit is still just the game and I just want the experience of the game.
No, for me it's less about getting the start bit out of the way and more like, you can play it now, you can do the first part, disc 1 or so, now, and then do the next part when it comes in the mail.
Or as someone who is very excited to play the full game, it was only a week ago that I played the demo, and it has felt like the longest week to wait for
that's what I didn't want.
Yeah. Even 1 day where it's you played today and it's out tomorrow, it'd still be like, oh my god, I've got to wait 12 hours. Fuck. I want it now.
Yeah, you got to go to bed having played 2 hours of Final Fantasy. Come on, man.
And now Sam can sit down tomorrow and know fully aware, that the game is out. He is playing the full game.
Have you got Final Fantasy snacks lined up ready to go, Sam?
Have you got tomorrow off work? More importantly,
No, I do not have tomorrow off
Oh,
work.
I thought you said you had like 2 weeks off or something.
No, I've got next week off.
Okay.
But I've got a handle and I've got meetings as well tomorrow and Friday.
Oh,
So I'm not going to have all dayers, unfortunately.
that's why I said you might as well play the demo, because you're only going to have like 2-3 hour sessions anyway.
Well, I'll just finish work and go straight into it.
Yeah.
That's still a good 5 hour.
That's
I love that. This has been like the year of just shutting the door with my new game and just disappearing for like a whole 19 hours or something.
Basically.
I love it.
The funny thing is, as well, is this happened specifically to Forbidden West on release.
Oh my god, it's happening again!
And
Oh
for
my
me,
God.
it's like, oh yeah, Forbidden West, what a good game. Too bad.
That's so funny.
I can't believe it. Can't catch a break.
Oh my god, I didn't even realise that till you just said it. That is actually hilarious. Poor Horizon, even
Or
2
Aloy.
years after release, it still gets fucking shafted for something else.
Oh dear.
Well,
But yeah, that's me done.
well, speaking of FF16, there are like a couple of small bits, not like massive news stories, but just interesting things. First off was the review embargo was today.
Mm-hmm.
It's currently sitting at around, it was 90 last time I checked. Let's have a.
Tears of the Kingdom was higher.
Well, here's the thing, right? Is also website OpenCritic. I always, in my heart, knew this game wasn't going to be insanely good, right? Because the combat is so divisive. I feel, it's such a big change. I'm glad it's in the 90s because, as far as I'm aware, Final Fantasy, outside of like the FF14 expansions, hasn't reviewed this well in a long time.
7 remake.
What was 7 remake? I was thinking of like, I know it's not like mainline. I was thinking more like mainline ones.
7 remake is a mainline one.
It's a remake,
but it was a huge one. It's a remake of the most popular one.
I suppose. Where did that end up? 88. So I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy hasn't rested in the 90s for ages, right? I don't think 15 was well
15.
received. It was well received, but not like stellar. Yeah, 81.
Yeah, and you're not going to get that on 13 or anything before then.
No, absolutely not. Probably like 12 Zodiac or something might have been really good.
No,
Ever been-
no, they won't get that kind of scoring.
85 for Zodiac.
91% critics recommend. That's not too bad.
But I think it's really weird, right? Because with Final Fantasy being such a well-regarded long-running series, never really hits the highs of the highs, at least with reviewers, right?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say though that Final Fantasy has never been at that like top 1% though. Like it's never been the like. Yeah, even 15. Like, I mean, I wasn't even excited for 15 when it came out, even though I actually think it was a decent game in the end. But it's never been that like, oh, this is going to be Game of the Year. You know, this is the first time I've had a Final Fantasy where I've gone, Jesus Christ.
Go on, Will. Will's about to explode.
I'd say up until 10, those like Final Fantasy was Game of the Year every year, right?
8? No.
So here's the thing. I wasn't old enough to know.
Yeah, I'm not old enough to know. I think the point I'm trying to make is I'm thinking less of those and more of like modern Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Because
right.
You say
because since 12, it feels like the series has been struggling to find its like identity in a world where people are less, or they seem to think people are less interested in turn-based games, right? They've been trying to like reinvent the wheel, sort of thing.
Is that not odd though? Because at the same time, I feel like that's not how my mind sees the series. Even though that is reality, it has been struggling to find kind of a place. I still always feel like in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, Final Fantasy, that 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 RPG series. I don't know what is that like nostalgia speaking.
No, it is
because it was.
But I didn't play those. I think
that's the thing where after 13, it's not had a 9 out of 10 game.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people would argue 12 isn't a 9 out of 10 game.
Well, again, it depends on where you draw the line, because Endwalker was fantastic, and Shadowbringers was fantastic.
Mhm.
But
But
then you fall into the
MMOs,
MMO trap.
yeah, that's a whole. People in the MMO bubble don't give a shit about the outside
And
world today,
also-
and vice versa.
Those MMO expansions kind of encapsulated what was happening with Blizzard at the time as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I'm
So-
just struggling to fight against my browser.
You wrote Shadowbug.
Yeah.
I did Shadowbringers. This is so bad for audio listeners. I did Shadowbringers. It then auto changed to Shadowbugs. There it is. I don't know why it's
We're watching.
It's refusing to
For
find
audio
Shadowbringers.
listeners, we're watching Josh fail to type a single word.
It's not a good
Into
day.
Metacritic.
It's not a good day for me today. It's really not. Yeah, 89 on Shadowbringers.
But yeah, if you ask someone, I feel like if you ask someone for like a really like, what do you think is a top of the line RPG series?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy would be somewhere up there in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nowadays, yeah,
Oh god, you're gonna say Persona's taken over.
I mean, it has.
if you're going JRPG, Persona never left.
I just feel like
but
if you
like-
went to the average person, you'd be like, you ask them what is the best or most popular, not most popular, sorry, what is the best RPG series? Most casual players would be like, Final Fantasy.
So I think they'd say Skyrim. I think Dragon Age might pop up.
Dragon Age would absolutely not pop up. I can tell. I put money on that. Dragon Age?
If we're talking
Dragon
about
Age
like,
not-
because it was a
in the West.
console. It was a It was loved on console.
Skyrim, I'll agree with for sure. Dragon Age, I do not know about that.
I
So,
think Dragon Age was Dragon Age. I thought Dragon Age and Dragon Quest. I was getting confused.
Dragon Quest.
Dragon
oh,
Age.
I was thinking Dragon Quest.
Yes.
See,
Yeah.
I'm not looking at this from a perspective of someone that knows about RPGs. I'm on about this as someone who's like owns a console and sees a AAA game come out, and you say, "Oh, what's a AAA RPG game that
Right.
you love?"
Okay, I'm with you. Like in the public eye, Final Fantasy has not been like relevant for a hot
Yeah.
minute. It's still
Okay,
with
okay.
like JRPG enthusiasts. It's still
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
big. But since I'd say again, since like 10 was probably the last one where it was like, my mum would
Unreleased,
hear about
yeah.
the
Okay,
Final
yeah,
Fantasy
okay,
10
yeah.
release, or something. Yeah.
There's a reason when I still remember when we bought our first console, and it was the PS1, and we bought 5 games, and 3 of them were Final Fantasy games, and we had no idea what we were getting.
Because
But
it's
we
like
bought Final Fantasy
other-
7, 8, and 9.
The other two were 2
Yeah.
copies of Abe's Odyssey.
One of them was a pinball game.
Both
actually.
both of them scratched beyond playability.
Yeah.
As is tradition.
Because Final Fantasy was like one of the big system sellers for PlayStation for the longest time, and then at some point, probably again around 12, 13 time, it stopped being that because
Yeah.
they couldn't figure out how to translate turn-based RPGs into like a modern mainstream success.
Then they finally figured it out. Don't make it an RPG.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty
pretty
much,
sure
yeah.
World of Final Fantasy actually did quite well.
Oh, I need a fact check on that.
Chibi World of Final
yeah.
Fantasy. I bet it did well with
But-
JRPG fans.
That's what I mean, but that's who it was for, right?
Yeah,
And I think that's the clever thing that they did.
Oh, this Google is so bad these days.
They clearly went, look, the mainline series just don't gel anymore with turn-based combat. So they made the little anime chibi one,
Yeah.
made it for us.
Oh. But yeah, but I'm not saying big turn-based JRPGs can obviously still do fine. Like Matt said in chat, Persona, Dragon Quest still doing fine. But even Persona is not like a cultural touchstone, is it? Like Final Fantasy used to be. Like your average man on the street isn't going to have heard of Persona or Dragon Quest, but they probably will have heard of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think Persona 5.
And that's
yeah,
kind
I
of
don't
what
know
I-
if
and that's
it's
what I-
No,
pushed
no
it.
way.
But
With
that's-
gamers, sure, not with.
But that loops around to what I was kind of saying, where I feel like most people still know about Final Fantasy even to this day, and would be like, "Yeah, Final Fantasy, I know that," even though it hasn't had any absolute bangers for like 20 years.
Okay, exactly. But I bet the other part of that sentence is, yeah, I've heard of Final Fantasy. Wasn't it that PS1 game?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Oh yeah, I played a ton of Final Fantasy 7. I loved it. Or
I played that when I was
9.
a kid.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll wrap this up because we're kind of going around a little bit, but this is so for the longest time, provided it doesn't change, which it could still change, it could still drop. It's the first mainline Final Fantasy to be sitting around, the upper echelons of reviews. For a long time. So that's pretty cool. The only other Final Fantasy bit, which was really minor, is about how it's got a day one patch, despite them saying it absolutely would not have a day one patch.
I was going to say, this is funny because they were like, we are seeing every game doing day one patches, and that's unacceptable. We're testing our game.
No, they didn't say that.
I guarantee they didn't say that.
They said every other game is trash, and our game we've actually tested.
Stirring the pot over here.
What I will say is it is such a weird thing, I guess, to say in the first place, of like, we're not going to have a day one patch, because in my mind I'm like, I don't care if you have a day one patch. It's just that's modern game dev. If anything, it's good to work up to the deadline if you can. Because that's just how game dev is now.
That's the only bit I had issue with, is like, no one cares, like, unless it's ridiculous amount, right? And if you've got a day one 40 gig patch.
Yeah, depends how big it is. Yeah.
But no one cares about a day one patch that is going to make your experience better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, was it like a no crunch badge of honor thing? Like we've sent it to ship, and we're sending all the devs home to their families. Who
it kind of. I don't really.
I would need to see the quote.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but I remember my reaction, which I kind of felt like it felt almost like a like a pride thing, or like, look how good of a job we've done with our development. Like, our game is finished this early before release. Look how cool, look how good that is. Whereas, like I said, in reality, I'm like, I don't really care if you're working up to release date, because that's just modern game dev.
Because there are always those people who, whenever you talk about like, games not like they used to be, because there's always those people that say like, we didn't have day one patches, games were just finished, and it's like, games were also like much simpler and shit.
Speedrunners loved them because there was bugs that would let you break the game.
Busted.
Games also ran at 10 FPS, lasted 4 hours, and cost the modern equivalent of £110. Like, like what do you want?
Yeah.
Like Matt just sent a chat. They're apparently it's based on feedback from the demo.
Yeah, I will admit that the demo. If the demo is based on the final game, it's not perfect. Like, there is a few technical problems. Nothing that really rubbed me the wrong way, but it's not perfect.
I was going to say, like, this is at the moment PS5 exclusive, so you don't have all the it could be your PC hardware. No, every PS5 should be able to run this the same, right?
Well, yeah, it's not like I can play it, but Sam's PS5 isn't strong enough to run it.
Well, you don't know. Sam might have a weak source PS5.
Yeah. He's been sold a white cardboard box that goes beep beep beep. But like I said, so there is a day one patch. Kind of a non-news story. It shouldn't even be a news story, but because they kind of said it the first time round.
They talked out.
That was the only issue. If they didn't say shit, this wouldn't even be a topic.
Yeah, even if they hadn't have said anything, and then they didn't have a day one patch, say like alternate universe, right? There'd be a thread on the front page of Reddit with some guy going, "Can we just take a second to be grateful how Final Fantasy 16 doesn't have a day one patch?" And it'll have like 20 trillion upvotes or something.
Yeah.
But but now you have two stories, one for not a day one patch and oops, here's a day one patch. Anyway, that's that one anyway. The main story from today literally happened 5 hours ago. It's the Nintendo Direct.
Oh, I love this.
This was a good
one.
thought this was a damn good Direct. There's a lot of cool stuff here. Obviously this is very new. I know Steve's watched it. Will or Sam, have you seen this stuff?
I did not watch.
I was in a meeting at the time that this went on, and I just
I was napping.
That's fine. Because you watched the Direct.
No, you were live at the time, Will.
Oh, was I?
Yeah.
I can do both.
Well, here's what we've got. You've got... first one they opened with was a DLC trailer, or trailer for the DLC of Scarlet and Violet.
Nothing really revealed here too much.
Just quick question.
Yeah.
It's titled The Hidden Treasures of Area Zero. Does Area Zero actually function yet still? Have they patched that?
No.
That area is so horrible in the main game. It's so bad.
Moving on.
Yeah. Next one, Sonic Superstars. You might remember this from, I think it was Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest, the 4-player Sonic game. More on that, nothing to really say about that. It looks okay. It's still got people connected to Balan's Wonderworld working on it, so I have no faith.
Wait, the Sonic director's gone now. How are they going to finish this game?
Oh yeah, he'll do it from prison.
Coding from prison.
Coding through the bars of prison. I used to make Sonic, you know. Yeah, shut the fuck up. It's lights out. A couple of weird releases to start off. I'm sorry. You got Palia, which was yeah, go for it.
This one's a weird one because it looked kind of like a mid life sim fantasy game, and it looks kind of like a nothing game. But then they said this game is free to play and has 4-player online co-op, and it's kind of like you can build your house, you can do stuff in the game. It looks very like Stardewy, Harvest Moony. There's some mini games and stuff. Like if you're living like a life sim for a fantasy world.
Okay, so we're looking at almost Animal Crossing.
Kinda, not as stylized, cartoonish, but
not that style. Yeah,
this would be kind of like a game that was off my radar until they said free to play and online co-op.
Steve's like, no money spent. Oh, okay. Yes, get in.
Well, I'm like that. I mean, if you had to pay for this game, it's kind of like a no, thank you. But where it's free to play, I'm like, oh, you can easily get people to play free to play games.
This game perfectly rode the line for me between I wasn't sure if it was an actual game or if it's just shovelware.
Yeah.
And I'm still not sure.
Yeah, I'm still not sure, but free to play, I might check it out. We'll see.
Yeah, you shove free to play on anything, and I can give it a go if I'm playing with someone else.
Yeah. What else we got? More on Persona 5 Tactica. So that was the spin-off that is an XCOM.
The XCOM, yeah.
You weren't here last week, Steve, to make all the "is this an XCOM" jokes, but yeah, that's the XCOM one. Myth Force was a kind of interesting looking game that looked like a Saturday morning cartoon roguelike.
Oh, they said that 5,000 times. This game is inspired by Saturday morning cartoons, and then they were like, by the power of adventure games.
Yeah,
very clearly referencing
PC for a while.
Probably. It screams of early access on Steam for years, but maybe it's finally being released on Switch and stuff.
It looked like it was like a VR game, but I was like, Switch doesn't have VR because they kept going into the first person, janky looking VR.
Yeah, that's first person perspective makes it look like you're in the person's head, Steve. So that's probably where you're getting confused.
I know, but it's just I think maybe first person games have ruined me because there are so many coming out at the moment.
Steve discovering how video games work.
Yeah, for the first time. What else we got? Splatoon Splatfest. Fucking boring.
No. This is funny for one reason and one reason only. They're doing vanilla, strawberry, and mint choc chip. And I was like, why aren't they doing chocolate? And it's like, oh, because they won't do having brown shit on the floor.
Shit everywhere, yeah.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
What else you got? Detective Pikachu Returns, because there's already...
Yeah, this is the second one.
I forgot one already existed, right?
This is going to be...
Yeah, I didn't know one existed.
No, there's a game.
Yeah, there's a game, a 3DS game.
Yeah, 3DS, yeah.
Oh, 3DS.
The first one I played is very much like a detective series, but it is so child friendly, to a point where it's boring. The first one, so yeah, it wasn't.
It's so
great.
weird seeing in this trailer. If you're interested, I'd say anyone listening, go listen to this trailer with audio. Because it's Detective Pikachu, but he's not got any of the charm, I feel, of who is it, Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
So it's just a Pikachu being like, "Hey, give me a coffee." I'm like, "Oh God, oh, no. I don't like that."
When we talked about the movie, we ragged on Ryan Reynolds enough as it was. So if it's worse than that,
it's not bad. It's just fucking weird. I was just like, I don't know if uncanny is the correct word, but it's just nah, it's just doing nothing for me.
I'm down for hard-boiled Detective Pikachu His partner's died. His wife's divorced him.
Now give that a listen later, seriously.
All I've got is the case.
Your next big one, this was a big drop for the show.
Yes.
Super Mario RPG Remake.
Yeah, this was the main one.
Yeah.
People
Very,
have
very
been
well.
Nintendo fans love Super Mario RPG. Like they go
It's a
on
great
it and
game.
they're like,
It's a
we
fantastic
want a
game.
second one. But so now that they're doing like a remake, this is quite a big reveal.
Do you know also what this game is, by my understanding?
What's that?
Turn-based.
Yes,
Yes,
it is JRPG.
You should play all the Superland Saga games. That's just generally out to anyone. If you like Mario RPG games, because I feel like so many people are like, I
This
loved
one has
Mario
Kino.
RPG. They should do a sequel or remake it. And I'm like, they made like 4 more RPGs that are all amazing that no one seems to talk about.
It's with Mario. It's very weird how like Mario RPG people love. All the rest of them, they're like okay. People don't fuck with them as heavy. Same for Paper Mario. The first one, people absolutely adore.
Oh,
And
it's
they
the
keep
second,
making
first,
new
second, yeah.
and people they keep making like more Paper Mario games, and they're like, we don't want this. We want the first one, like for some reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one, and if they do remake the first Paper Mario as well, hopefully, are the big ones. So definitely give this a try.
I think
If you
this
like
is
the RPGs.
when you talk of an age of games maybe not needing remakes because they're not that old. This is a game I do strongly feel like for the longest time it has needed some sort of revisiting because it is so old, the Super Nintendo version, and it's just it can look really rough, I feel, in certain areas. So I'm excited for this. I've never actually played this. I've watched I think a Let's Play years and years ago, so some of it is familiar, but
I've played some of it as well.
Yeah,
I've played some of it before, not finished it though.
But I remember like people love this game. People love Gino, the like puppet character, and Mallow, the weird like cloud character.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. That was, as far as I'm aware, completely unexpected, right? No one.
Yeah, no hints of it at all.
Yeah. That was really cool. Batman Arkham Trilogy was the next showcase. Absolute magic getting those games on Switch. It looks a bit rough, but
I'd love to see that game running on a Switch.
You should watch this trailer.
Especially the third one.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
It's certain bits of it in here, and it looks nice, but some of it is like, oh Christ. You can see where the cutbacks are. Yeah, they're solid games. If that is literally the only way you can play them, then give it a look. Otherwise, get it on PC or something.
Yeah.
Gloomhaven on Switch. You like that game, I believe, Will?
Everyone should play Gloomhaven. Sam, you should play Gloomhaven. Play this. Probably not on Switch, but
yeah, don't play.
You might have it for free from Epic Games Store in the past.
Yeah,
that's where I got it. Yeah, you might.
Game for Steve. You got Just Dance 2024 edition.
Oh hell yeah! I'm gonna twerk to those songs.
Literally nothing to say about that. It's just more of the same.
What are you hoping is in this one, Steve?
I don't know any
song?
current songs.
Oh, I thought you were with it. I thought you were cultured.
I'm starting to get there, but you know,
he's getting there slow but surely.
One song at a time. Like I listen to one new song a day, and maybe Padam Padam by Kylie Minogue that just came out.
I have only just figured out how FPSs work, so I guess
Kylie Minogue, isn't she like 110?
Basically.
Which Silent Hope. This was an RPG they showed, and my brain completely glazed over during this trailer because it just looked so generic.
This one looked interesting. It's set 7 protagonists that are all silent apparently, but every other character in the game can talk. And there's like dungeons, and you go in with the different 7 characters. They all have different like attack styles and play styles, and then you kind of like go into the dungeon to get resources to build up your town back at the base and stuff.
Having the plot dictate the main characters being silent is a galaxy brain move to save money on voice acting. Yeah, but no one's talking the entire time.
the thing is though, I feel like that could be done very well, but where these characters are chibi, I'm like, if they're going to be silent, you kind of want like them to be very visually expressive then, and there's only so much you could do with chibi characters, I think.
Yeah, it gives me like Bravely Default vibes.
That
was that. You then had Fae Farm, the game that for whatever reason seems to keep appearing every single Nintendo Direct.
Yes, they like really want you to play this.
Gonna skip that. Some other like stuff, shovelware, manic mechanics. Mario and Rabbids DLC, Dragon Quest Monsters. So a new one of these.
Yes.
Steve said this, and I was like, "No, I'm going to trust him." But I thought you were baiting me.
No.
No. I played the original Dragon Quest Monsters on Game Boy, and I love that. I've played that game so many times. I love the original. I think they did like Dragon Quest Monsters Joker.
Joker is
like,
the one I remember for DS.
DS. I haven't played that one because it's like now trying to find a DS game is.
I love both.
Yeah.
I own both.
What is this?
Dragon Quest Pokemon.
Yeah, Dragon Quest Pokemon.
Okay.
So the Joker, at the very least, was like you have a team of 3.
Yeah.
But like you also you obviously have more in the bank, but as they level up, you like fuse them together.
Yeah.
So it's not like
it's
you've
fusing
got
right here.
this guy,
They're
that's
fusing right
it.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just looks like kind of more of the same, but just new, which is always cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm down. I love these games.
Yeah, I'll give this a look. So you had that Pikmin 4 got a really lengthy look. Actually, it was really long.
Well, this was like the showcase. You know, like when they tweeted out we're getting a direct, they were like, "Oh, it's going to feature Pikmin 4."
This is looking so good. I'm so excited for this. I won't blabber on for ages about Pikmin, but it looks like what they've announced today, which is new, is there's a resource you can find that lets you kind of skill up some of the mechanics you can do, and the weird like dog thing that's now your companion. That's pretty cool.
Oh, you're good. Is that a kitchen? They're going like inside.
Yeah, so it looks like they're doing kind of like chibi robo stuff, where you go inside someone's house. No one knows what it's about yet, but it's always been. This sounds like so deep for these sorts of games, but it's always been canon that Pikmin and the characters are tiny, because you always pick up like you pick up Duracell batteries and weird shit like that, right?
Yeah.
But you never really interact with humans or human areas. Whereas now in this trailer, you're just straight up in someone's kitchen doing.
It doesn't take place on Earth, does it?
Or this one must do, because there's human stuff.
The old ones
have
always been like you're on a weird planet that just looks like somebody's back garden.
Oh, it's like I said, like they never really elaborate on it, right? It always just feels like they just do what would be cool, right? Like, wouldn't it be cool?
I guess, yeah. I just never really thought about it.
Yeah. They elaborate more on being able to go at night, which is kind of cool. The like story of Pikmin has always been you have a time limit of just daytime, because everything gets fucking wild at night. But now you can go out during night, and there's special Pikmin that glow, which is kind of cool. It's just, if you're into Pikmin, it just looks like more cool stuff, really. I'm so excited for this. The other announcement as well was that Pikmin 1 and 2 are now on the eShop, which you can play on Switch, which is amazing, because they've been completely inaccessible for the longest time. I looked it up. They're only on the GameCube and the Wii. So,
oh wow,
yeah, and they're trying to sell Pikmin 4, right? So it's kind of like it's a bit shit.
And where was Pikmin 3?
Pikmin 3 was
already on.
Wii U game that then got ported to Switch. So as of right now, you can now get every Pikmin game on Switch.
Is there much point? I played Pikmin 3 and 1. Is there? I feel like if you played 3, there's not.
I feel like
3 kind of encompasses 1.
It's one of those things where I feel like I love Pikmin 1, 2, and 3. I adore those games. I think if Pikmin 4 is looking to be something that interests you, play that. And if you finish it and you're like, that was really good, I want more, then go back and play the other ones. Because
other ones,
there are like little quality of life things, but essentially it's just like more of the same, right? If you like that kind of loop.
Yeah.
But it's good to see more on this. It's so close now. What is it, like July? It comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the next sort of big Nintendo release, I believe. But yeah, that's looking really cool. It's like a long trailer, so if you wanted to check that out, it's like 4 minutes long. They showed, so that's all good. Metal Gear Solid Collection.
1, 2, and 3.
Nice.
And more. 1 is 1, 2, 3. And then the original 2 on the NES, which were just called Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2, I think, or like Snake's Revenge or some shit. Mm-hmm. And also the 2 that were on the PC console Japan system thing. Like the actual canon original Metal Gear games. The timeline for Metal Gear is fucking weird, but there are multiple games basically.
Metal Gear fans are eating pretty good right now, aren't they?
Well, Konami have suddenly realised that they're sitting on millions of dollars doing nothing with it. So,
I will say that it was a Switch announcement, but it's also coming to PS5, Xbox, and Steam. So you don't have to buy it on Switch if you don't want to.
The cool thing I liked about this is outside of the games, they also showed that it just comes with a shitload of artwork and music and just all kinds of like graphic novels and stuff are all in this collection as well.
Oh, that's cool.
It sounds like if you're a fan of these games, it sounds like a really good way to play them. It's also Volume 1. Obviously, in the case at some point there'll be a Volume 2. I assume with like
giving
Metal
you like
Gear
a
4.
strategy guide too.
Yeah, they give you all the stuff. It looks really cool. So yeah, I think
Konami becoming good. Konami Redemption arc.
Oh, let's wait. They're just releasing stuff they've already got right now, I guess.
That's right, I guess. Yeah, true.
Vampire Survivors on Switch.
Yes, and this comes with a 4-player co-op as well.
Couch co-op Vampire Survivors. I thought, like in my head, I was like, that's a great idea. But then I thought, unless they balance it, which I assume they will, that would be so easy. Just win.
Yeah.
It's already easy with one person, kind of, when you get into it. That's cool, though. Vampire Survivors is always interesting. I assume if you start getting tons of enemies on the Switch just blows up. I don't know.
It's on phone. I guess actually phones are more powerful than Switches these days.
A lot more powerful, Steve. My phone's playing like Star Rail at the same graphic quality as my PC, and it looks great. Whereas Switch runs stuff at like 480p upscaled, whatever. Headbangers Rhythm Royale, kind of weird.
Yeah, this is a weird one.
I'm not gonna go into this, but yeah, it was like a weird pigeon-based rhythm game battle royale for Nintendo Switch.
32 players or something.
If that sounds interesting, look it up. It's all minigame based for rhythm. It's kind of weird, but
maybe it's free to play. Maybe
it gave competitive WarioWare.
Okay, kind of, yeah. It gave me mad Fall Guys vibes. You then had Penny's Big Breakaway, which was like a platform game that I didn't care about until they said it was made by these Sonic Mania people.
And Sonic Mania people, for those who don't know, are Sonic modders who got hired to make a good Sonic game. Yeah, they did.
The people that have made the only good Sonic game in years. This actually looked cool though. Well, like, they kind of say that in the trailer, and then as more the trailer plays, it's like this actually looks all right.
I would say because the whole thing about this is you have a yo-yo, and the movement with the yo-yo looked good, but the style of it just reminded me of Balan Wonderworld. And it's like, no,
oh my God, the fallout.
He can't hurt you anymore, Steve. He's in prison. He can't hurt you. We'll get you some therapy. We will get through this, Steve. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, new stage and 3 new characters. This is the next tier of the 8-tiered pass they're doing.
Who's coming?
Oh, who's coming? Petty Piranha, Kamek, and Wiggler.
Who cares? Get like Captain Falcon in there.
Yeah, put Witch in there.
They have said that the characters that they're adding are characters from previous Mario Kart games. So if they've not been in one yet, then they're not going to be in one.
Boo.
Like, you're probably going to see Rob in the next one.
Next story, Star Ocean: The Second Story R. This is a remake of the second Star Ocean game, which I feel like you either don't care about, or this is really cool.
You just lost your shit.
Yeah. I personally know nothing about this, so I'm not really into this at all. But that was cool. You had that, and then new WarioWare. These are the last 2 announcements, by the way. New WarioWare looks really cool.
Except for this one is all about movement with your Joy-Cons. So most Switch players won't be able to play this because it's 100% Joy-Con based.
Wait, what the? Yeah, I didn't think about that. So there's a whole Switch where the Joy-Cons don't come off.
And even then, if you've got your Joy-Cons, if they're working's another question.
I don't think the motion is an issue with the Joy-Cons, right? It's just drift.
I know, but like, when your Joy-Con starts drifting, you're like, I'm not going to touch you anymore. You're broken.
Oh, because
I wonder if this will be another, what was it, like £50 game that is about 2 hours long.
Oh, maybe, yeah. The last
what was the one we played with you around your house?
I can't remember. Everyone came around mine, and I rented that game because I think we sat down and we finished the whole thing in about 2 hours, and it was a full price game. It was fun. Don't get me wrong.
It's fun, yeah.
It was like a weird competitive WarioWare, that one.
Yeah.
These games are always fun, but yeah, they can be quite hard to justify the full price for it. I didn't think about it, but yeah, now that you said that, Steve, I don't think about the drift. I think about the Switch Lights, where the controllers are ingrained into the device that just can't play this game, I guess.
Well, same for like the 1-2 Switch as well.
Yeah. I imagine there'll be some set where you get the game with Joy-Cons and it costs like £10,000 or something.
Probably.
Last announcement, which I think is the most exciting. Well, okay, what?
Not completely. They announced Princess Peach was getting her own game.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be next year. It's a game where it's not about her PMS emotions this time. So
yeah, that was weird, that one on DS, where it's like, here's the first game you can play as Princess Peach. She can't control her emotions, and she gets mad randomly and sad and cries, and it's like,
that's her powers.
This isn't great.
To solve puzzles.
What is that thing?
That was a game on
Princess
DS.
Peach.
Yes,
Look it up. Yep.
Super Princess Peach. It's, in hindsight, might not have been the best idea for a game.
I've never heard of that. Okay.
And they've also announced that the 3DS Luigi's Mansion is getting ported to the Switch. I don't know why they're not doing the original Luigi's Mansion, but the 3DS version, which was six mini hotels.
Who's got the disc in the office for Luigi's Mansion 1? I don't know. Just do a second one. It's on there. It's over there.
But yeah, and then we got this announcement.
Then you got the big one, which is Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This looks cool. This looks really cool.
No, it looks weird.
No, it doesn't look weird. It looks fucking awesome. I think it depends on how you think about Mario games, right? Because I showed Laura this, and she was like, yeah, it's another Mario game. Nothing's really changed. And I couldn't disagree because she's not wrong. But I still can't help but get excited for just a solid 2D Mario campaign, right?
Yeah, I was going to say just 2D Mario. But the whole thing about this one is that Mario takes drugs and then the world starts fucking up around him.
Yeah, so the premise of this game is, I'm going to say every level, because I assume it'll be every level. There is a mechanic called, I don't know what it's called, it's just like a wonder flower. You eat it, and in some way, you can see on the screen now if you're watching, in some way the level changes. So it adds a gimmick. So in the example here that he's doing, all the pipes start moving and freaking out. And there are ones later in the trailer where just, weird shit starts happening. I think he stretches really long in one of the clips where he's just suddenly got a really long waist and like weird. Yeah, it's this one here where you can stretch. Weird, but I kinda dig it. I think it's a cool.
Looks like he took some LSD.
It literally is like.
Yeah, but you could make that joke about any Mario game.
Well, people have made that joke about Mario taking mushrooms for years, and now it's like an actual mechanic.
Is it just all drugs analogies all the way down?
Always was. I think the thing that stands out for me in this is they've gone with almost like a weird stop motion-y art style. I don't know if you go back to, it's not exactly stop motion, but if you go back to the very beginning, let me find the clip here. You see that where he takes the mushroom, and it's almost weird like keyframing, and it looks.
Yeah.
I really like it. I think it looks really cool.
60 FPS.
No, it's not. It's also Mario's running at like a weird 45-degree angle, like he's kind of facing the camera more.
Yeah, he's diagonal. Right?
Yeah, he's running forward, but he's running diagonally. These are so minor things, but I really love.
It looks cool.
Yeah, the aesthetic. I love the
really
aesthetic of this game. Just things like the it's really minor stuff again, but just like the new font that they're using throughout the game, where you pick up stuff. I just think it's really cool.
The thing I noticed, which what I found funny, was there was one point where it was Mario and Peach on the screen, and there's definitely a male voice, and it sounds like it's Mario saying it, but it sounds like he's got a new voice actor.
Not again. Maybe it's Chris Pratt.
It is Chris Pratt. Yeah, they got him.
Didn't it sound Chris Prattish? And it didn't sound like Charles Martinet either. So
It's David
like,
Hayter.
Maybe there might be a new.
Princess Peach, let's get out of here.
Peach.
But yeah, I think this looks awesome. I mean,
This looks like it would be fun if you had friends to play with. So
that's really sad, Steve.
Oh, that's really sad.
yeah.
Well,
Looks
you
like those Rayman games. It's got taking a lot from like those.
yeah. I
I guess
think
it always has. I don't know why. That's kind of a non-point. Yeah.
I read that I didn't realize it had been that long, but it's literally been years and years and years since there's been just a solid 2D Mario campaign. It's been 3D for quite a while now.
When was the last one? It was like Wii U.
I think it was New Super Mario Bros. Wii U, yeah, which would have been about.
It's been a few on Switch.
Like 100 years ago.
No, Steve, those are re-releases.
Yeah, but that still counts.
No, it doesn't. Right? They're re-releases. Because you have New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe is the one on Switch, and that is the Wii U one, just ported to Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally it's been a very long time. And I think, yeah, these games don't maybe innovate loads, but they do what they set out to do really, really well. They're just so much. They're so joyful. They're so fun.
Yeah, I'm not sure. For some reason, I would play a 2D Mario, but they just don't excite me like a 3D one does.
I get what you mean, and I feel like
go on.
I was just going to say it's been the other way around for me for ages, where we've now, for the longest time, it was like so many 2D ones. It's like, okay, give us a proper 3D one. And then we got, 3D World and Odyssey and all these other ones. And now I'm like...
3D World I count as a 2D.
It's not 2D, and it's a 3D.
I know, but...
And now I'm the other way around. I'm like, just give me a solid 2D Mario campaign. And now here we are. I think this looks great. I'm really excited for this. And it's soon as well. It's like October.
Yes.
We always say that like Nintendo always seems like they've got nothing coming out. But that's because they release stuff like 3 months after announcement.
Yeah.
And this is their like newer one, right? This is their new big hit that'll be coming out.
They always try to have one big release a month at least.
Yeah, typically, yeah. They have normally, like you say, it's one thing a month. Not always massive, but they always tend to have something.
Mm-hmm.
Which
something that they'll promote the shit out of.
Yeah, basically, yeah, something that will be at the front of all their marketing. But yeah, that's the end of the Switch Direct. Thank God they had that today, because there's basically no more news. The only other one was about how we'll zip through these really quickly. Redfall developer Arkane, we all know about that. We spoke about that, to death. Microsoft says it's currently safe. So,
what was it? Contagious before, or?
Well, it's just one of those things where it's like they release Redfall, and it's like off with your head. One mistake, into the pits.
If this was EA,
yeah,
those people would all be out of a job. Yeah.
Currently safe, but one bad patch and all they're out.
Can you patch that game to be worse?
Yeah.
That was that news story, and then the last one was the story DLC for Callisto Protocol. Is coming later this month. This wasn't really like, it's not like a oh my god it's coming out, but it was a reminder for me of I forgot
existing.
I forgot that game didn't end. Like it just,
oh shit!
Like Callisto Protocol just ends on a cliffhanger, and it was really annoying. And now here comes the ending, and it's like, oh, that just annoyed me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
there was one more news story Will linked in our podcast chat.
Let's have a look.
Which is
the Diablo one.
Yes, the Diablo one.
I'll grab that quick. So yeah,
where Diablo, the seasonal battle pass that's coming will only be able to be completed by seasonal characters. So all your current characters, as soon as the season comes, dump them. You don't need them. Level a new one.
But is that bad though?
Yeah.
Like,
I personally don't like that about Diablo. I'm like, I've leveled in Diablo 3, I've got 5 max level characters, all different classes. I have no interest in leveling them again. I'd put in the work.
If you maxed out a character in Diablo 4 and they release a battle pass, what could that character possibly do that's meaningful that could work towards a battle pass?
I'm not sure. This
PvP?
game felt this game felt more like an MMO to me. So I was like, oh, I'll keep these characters forever, right? And it's like, no, it's more like Diablo 3 again, which is fine. Some people who enjoy it. It's not my sort of like, I don't want to have to every single season level something up.
The issue is though, Steve, is it's like
that
I know that you don't want to make a new character and level up, but it's that, or you're never gonna play it anyway, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's not for me. Some people will love this,
but I do see, because I posted the story just because I thought it was interesting, because we all most of us played Diablo, and when I first read the story, I was like, well, yeah, duh, it's seasonal Diablo, like it makes perfect sense. But where Steve's right, this has kind of taken a lot of cues from like MMOs, and it's like what would be the harm in letting people progress through a battle pass with their characters that already are leveled up and they like playing? You know what I mean? So
someone will find a way to cheese it.
I could see, but I was suddenly just like, I guess I could.
As long as people are playing the game, you know, if they want to play it whichever way they want, let them.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, it's tricky.
Again,
I feel like if you have a max level character, an already leveled character, you're not really like playing the game to do the battle pass, if that makes sense.
But what about people, Sam, who got to level 30, 40, didn't quite finish the story and dropped Diablo for whatever reason? And then they see the season starting, and it's like, oh, you can't use that character. You have to start again.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
No, I both concede that point, but also it also gives them a good enough reason to play the game again and try again.
Exactly. So I can see where these people are coming from, because it's like the easy knee jerk is like, it's Diablo seasons, you dummy. But what would be the harm in letting people play through a battle pass with their already made characters that they're quite invested in?
But it also might be because it won't suit non-seasonal characters.
Yes, yeah. Part of it is we have to wait and see how these seasons actually work.
I assume the idea will be that, you can only do the battle pass with a seasonal character, but the rewards can be taken across every single season.
That's the thing. Usually with Diablo seasons, they reward cosmetics. Like you get some seasonal legendaries to like mix up the gameplay, but the chase rewards are the seasonal cosmetics. Like there'll be a pet, there'll be an armor set. You can then like transmogrify to look cool for the next season.
Yeah, they have to be because the more I think about it, there's no way you get unlocks for a character that you would then essentially throw in the bin, right? You have to be able to carry over something across seasons.
Oh, no. If you unlock, maybe they'll probably let you carry over cosmetics.
They have to. Otherwise, there's no point to the battle pass. Besides, playing the game for fun. Who does that?
Yeah, who does that? Yeah.
What? Yes, from the battle pass perspective, yes. From the seasonal perspective, there's items you can only get in that season.
But you have to think of it from the battle pass perspective, because ultimately that's what they're going to be wanting to sell.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And I agree with you. I think if those, especially when it's cosmetics, so there's absolutely no harm in you having those cosmetics in future seasons. I think it'd be dumb if they didn't.
But the other point is we also have, there's kind of, Diablo 3 almost has battle passes already. And the way they function is kind of like a series of challenges, which are like, get to max level, do a dungeon at tier, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, or if you just boot up your level 100 maxed out character day one and just complete 90% of the battle pass, it's like, also, they probably don't want that either. So,
I think ultimately the conclusion is you're never going to please anyone. Everyone, sorry.
Anyone. It is Blizzard.
They're also never going to please anyone, but that's besides the point.
Most of the people, I would say, excited for Diablo 4 seasons are going to be fine with it, because there should be that knowledge of it's just going to be the same way Diablo 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would expect them to do something fresh, but 99% of it is going to be the same, you know?
Yeah.
I just feel sorry for the people who have made characters like been like, I'm leveling, I've got like 4 or 5 max level characters in Diablo right now, one of every class, and it's like, oh wait, no,
The people who don't know, who have gone really hard on Diablo before the season started. Yeah,
I will say
that be a
I think
lesson.
that those numbers are going to be in the single digits.
Yeah, let that be a lesson.
I've maxed out
true.
every single class already. What am I supposed to do? I don't know. Go outside.
Touch grass. It's in the patch notes.
There's a joke here somewhere about grass patches.
Get fucked.
There's a joke there about grass patches somewhere, but I'm too tired to think about it. Steve, what's coming out?
Oh, okay. So we've got several indie games because a bunch of the next Fest demo games are out very soon. So, on the 21st, we have a game which is today, a game called Bandit Brawler. This is an open world comedy game about being a bandit.
Interesting.
It's a first person. You just go around punching people, stealing stuff. Fucking with them.
This is just medieval Postal. What the fuck is this?
It looks almost like a kind of goat simulator-y ish, but you just like fuck around as a bandit doing stupid shit.
It looks like Skyrim that's been modded a little bit too far. Like it looks like Skyrim where if you added one more mod, it just wouldn't boot anymore.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Okay, on the 22nd, we have Dr. Fetus's Mean Meat Machine.
What the fuck?
Oh, this is the Super Meat Boy guys.
This is Super Meat Boy, guys. Yep, looks like it's Tetris, but like hard.
Tetris is hard, Steve.
But no, this has got like side like.
1v1 me on
puzzles.
Tetris. I'll show you hard Tetris.
Yeah. So like there's like falling stuff, and you got to like kind of.
Oh, it's what if Super Meat Boy was what's it called? Puyo Puyo Pop. That was called.
Sure.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Don't make me sound insane, okay? I know what I'm talking about.
Seeing them again. Okay. Also on the 22nd, we have a game called Novalands. This is, I believe it's early access, but it is a factory building, exploration, island management game.
That's too many
kind
words.
It looks like it kind of combines like Stardew Valley and Factorio and just like a general exploring game.
You said the perfect combination. You said like the incantation to summon Erin.
Yeah.
she just ran in the room saying, "Someone talk about a city builder."
I was thinking of Erin. I was like, "Oh yeah, she probably love this." So.
Not throwing too much shade, but you know what other game had all those subgenres? Craftopia.
Oh shit!
Week 2 of mentioning Craftopia.
It's infectious, man.
No one else knows what that game is. It sold like 9 copies.
No,
I think I actually refunded that game, so I bought it and never played it. I think it's the only Steam game I've ever refunded.
Craftopia is a curse, like that movie It Follows. And now that the listener knows about it, I'm afraid you have now been cursed with Craftopia, and you have to pass it on to someone else.
this one might be good. We don't know. This is early access, I believe. So
it looks alright.
Yeah. Also on the 22nd, we have Forever Skies. This is another survival game that this one has airships though, where you kind of build up your airship and fly around.
Yeah. It's funny how I can so easily say, "Oh, I hate survival crafting games," and then they show like one frame of an airship flying, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, go on."
Yeah.
I'm so weak. I'm so easy.
There were a lot of survival games and Stardew games coming out this week. So I did cut back a lot.
Yeah, here's another survival crafting game. Ugh, crossed with like pressure washing things. Oh, okay, right. I'm in.
Also on the 22nd, we have Final Fantasy 16.
Never heard of it.
What's that? The survival crafting?
Another niche game, apparently.
It's the Stardew clone.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Yeah, you'll hear all about this next week if you want to come back for thoughts and feelings.
Probably
lots of. I will be playing nothing but.
Yeah, lots of feelings if that demo is anything to go off of.
So yeah, and then now we've got a big jump to the 26th. We have a game called One Lonely Outpost. This is Stardew on an alien planet.
I love this trend of
charming,
just, it's X, but why?
yeah.
This one looks quite charming, though. I was like, actually, this kind of looks kind of cute.
I like this art style. This looks nice.
It was the art style that got me. There's an actual like Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town games out this week, but I was like, nah, that's not making the list. This one is.
I feel like I don't normally fall for the X but Y thing. I'm normally kind of just like, I'll go play the original, I guess.
Yeah.
The only one what was that? There was the Minecraft / Terraria Underground game that we all played. What was that?
Core
Keeper. That was one of those. I feel like it's X but Y, and that was pretty good.
Okay. Next on the 26th, we've got a game called Kingdom 80s. This is an 80s standalone version of the Kingdom game, which a bunch of people have played. So it's the game where you're like the woman on the horse going left to right side scrolly.
Oh yes, I played this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a standalone version of that, but it's like 80s, like you're on bikes and.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
I have no lady going left to right on a horse.
If you, if you type in, it's like Kingdom. It's like
you will own. It's like Kingdom. Kingdom New Land or something, right?
Something like that.
You will own one of these on a platform, Josh.
Okay.
I can guarantee it.
Some sort of indie bundle at some point. It's just
landed
in my Steam
somewhere.
library.
It'll just have backed up and dump truck Kingdom game into your account.
I feel like I have my finger on the pulse of things. I have no clue what this is.
They're good. They're like super minimal, like one button games.
Yeah,
with really nice art. They're really good.
This game was regarded in high regards. That's why I
okay.
thought I'd mention this one. Next on the game, this is a bit weird, but we have on the 27th we have Little Friends Puppy Island, which looks like it's a Steam version kind of Nintendogs. I was like, I've never played a Nintendogs game, but people love these types of games. So
I love Nintendogs.
Tamagotchi game, right?
Yeah, you get to have your puppies and dress them up and walk them and do stuff.
My work colleague today was talking about the Final Fantasy 16 reviews and was talking about how Famitsu gave Final Fantasy. They do like 4 reviews at the same time, right? They gave it 40, 40, 40, and 39.
Oh, shit.
And he said, oh, well, I'm not worried too about it. They gave Nintendogs 40, 40, 40, 40. I said, what's your point there? Nintendogs is fucking amazing.
Nintendogs is the perfect game.
It is
to make.
What point are you trying to make? Like that they're wrong because they're not.
And then, last but not least, on the 28th, we've got Reverie Sweet As Edition.
What the? How do you even spell that?
Reverie.
Oh, I spelled Revelry.
God, learn to spell. This is a 2D Zelda clone, but it looks like it's in the art style of like Earthbound.
Oh, we just had that chicken one, Steve. We can't keep doing this.
Oh, but at first I was like, but then I watched the trailer and stuff. I was like, actually, this kind of looks kind of fun.
Yeah, this looks more like Earthbound than Zelda, like graphically.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just Ness.
Yeah,
and that's Lucas without a shirt on for some reason.
but it, like when you watch the gameplay trailer, it's definitely like there's dungeons in this game, like Zelda dungeons and stuff. Okay. And it's not like the JRPG that Earthbound is. So
I like this trend of Nintendo aren't making top-down Zelda anymore, so we'll do it ourselves.
We haven't. I don't know if Steve mentioned it in the upcoming games, but that game BattleBit that's just come out.
Oh yeah, the Battlefield Minecraft game.
256 player Battlefield game. Like I love this trend of indie, like little 4-5 man teams just going like, well, the big guys keep fucking it up, so we're just gonna make it ourselves. It's great to see.
This would have been out last week, so whoever did the releases last podcast. Hopefully would have said this one.
Well, yeah, I did the rational
shifting the blame.
I did the rational thing and saw a screenshot of this and went, absolutely not. How am I supposed to know it was like game of the year? No, I remember it was like people have been talking about this a little bit, right? And it was a couple days ago, I think. I was like, what actually is this? And I looked it up, saw this this trailer, and the first review I saw was something like, EA can't do it, so indie games did it themselves, lol, in all caps, with like a thumbs up. And I was like, okay, I know exactly what this is. Apparently it's really good.
Apparently it's really good.
I can't.
I'm gonna go buy it. I'm gonna buy it right now.
How much is it?
£12.
£12. I was gonna say we could play this, maybe.
It gives me mad like Roblox vibes.
Yeah.
Because like every game is in Roblox, right? You can play like Counter-Strike in Roblox, Call of Duty, and it's like I can't.
It would. Apparently it's like 3 people. It would 100% not surprise me if they started this in Roblox. You know what I mean? And they were like, why don't we just make this?
I mean, it'd probably make more money in Roblox, to be honest. Like a bunch of
this game is killing it. This has sold so many copies already.
Yeah, nearly 15,000 positive reviews right now for what should, like visually looking at it, should probably be shovelware. But apparently, it's just insanely good.
It's one of the best games of all time. Yeah.
Battlefield 5 struggling to retain players with like Season 5 content and shit, whereas this comes out and everyone's like, haha, this game better, lol.
Does this game have like emotes and stuff? That'd be funny.
No idea.
I can't help but just think of, like EA executives looking at this and reading all the like troll reviews and just being like, oh, for fuck's sake. We spent so much money.
DICE struggling to keep the lights on, and this game just comes out.
These games just in a jacuzzi of money that they made from Minecraft, Roblox, Battlefield. Oh, I do love it though. I think it's nothing better than seeing something that looks terrible and it's like actually
it's like an underdog story, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's really, really good. Anything else, Steve?
That's it.
Oh, we're all done then.
Yeah, that's it for the week.
Nice.
The only big release is Final Fantasy 16, but there's a bunch of indie games and some of them look really good, so check them out. And also check out the Steam Next Fest demos. Like, I personally think I'm going to check out Paleo Pines. So that looks like
I'll have to.
Cute dinosaur game.
I haven't had a proper look. I'll have to dive into Next Fest and see. There's always some cool stuff there that I end up liking, so I should go. I should go have a look. I think I'll do that tonight and wishlist and download a few bits. Okay, then we'll call it there. Then we'll call it a night. We'll do our socials and stuff, and then we'll get out of here. Thank you for listening, everybody. We've done another week complete, so we're gonna get out of here. My name is Josh. I'm BottlerWorks on everything. If you want to find me, how about you, Will?
Hello. You know where to find me.
And Steve.
Hey, I'm Steve. You can find me at Quikwix. That's QUIKWIX.
And then Sam.
I exist.
You should just like take an older one where he actually promotes himself and just copy and paste that at the very end of the podcast.
I could probably put Sam on a soundboard, just saying all his socials.
Yeah. Compilation of Sam's outros. Just you know where to find me. I'm Sam. Bye.
I'll remix it. Give it to Tired.
Oh yeah, make a cool like dank remix. Okay, yeah, that's next. I'll hit him up tonight. Okay. Bye everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.